Okay, welcome to the September meeting of the Audit, Budget, and Finance Committee of the Buffalo Fiscal Stability Authority. I'd like to welcome our new committee members, Director Keenan and Director Sanfilippo. Thanks for agreeing to serve on the committee and coming in. Our agenda today includes a review of the audited financial statement as presented by our auditors, a review of the 2025 annual report as prepared by staff, and a one-year contract extension with BFSA Financial Advisor, PFM. Jeanette, can we take the roll?
Yes. Committee Chair Fox?
Here.
Director Keenan?
Here.
Director Sanfilippo?
Here.
The quorum of the committee is present.
Thank you. The first item of business is to approve the minutes of the meeting held on September 23rd, 2024 and March 10th, 2025. The draft minutes and the accompanying draft resolution are located under tab 2 in your board book. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer amendment to the minutes.
Sure. So we need to put it on. So first do that, and then we can do that. So move the motion to approve the minutes, and then we'll have discussion and corrections. Yes, second?
I'm going to abstain from voting on it, but I will second
it. Thank you. Now, up and running.
Mr. Chairman, I talked about the minutes of the meeting September 23rd, not the previous meeting.
Correct.
Okay. I would like the meeting of the minutes of September 23rd meeting to reflect the comments that I made regarding the overage of $20 million of unexpended bond proceeds from prior fiscal years, and that the city taxpayers are paying that service that was not included in the minutes. My comments.
Are you referring to the meeting we had last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Wasn't it the 23rd?
No.
This is a year ago.
Oh, my God.
24.
I thought that was a typo.
Yeah.
No.
Then I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Then I apologize.
Any?
retracting that.
Yeah, we didn't have quorum for those two committee meetings. That's why we're approving them now.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
And thank you all for coming so that we have quorum. It's get important.
Are we allowed to vote on these committee minutes?
Sure.
In as much as we weren't at the meeting?
Yes. Sure. You're no. Any other comments? All those in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to abstain because I
Okay.
wasn't a board member at the time of the meetings.
The meeting minutes are approved with one abstention. Okay. The next order of business is the receipt of the results of the independent audit for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, and to recommend the acceptance and approval of the financial statements to the full board. The draft financial statements and related reports have been provided to you under your board book under tab 2. Elizabeth Krause from Lunsman & McCormick is here to present the results of the audit. Thanks for coming today. We really appreciate it. Would you give us a summary?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. As Fred said, I'm here representing Lunsman & McCormick and Sarah Dayton, the partner on the engagement. In front of you, there's a summary of the financial results for the year ended June 30th, 2025. On the first slide here, we have your deliverables. We have your auditor's report on the financial statements for the governmental activities and each major fund as of and for the year ended June 30th of 2025 in accordance with U.S. Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. We also have an auditor's report on the required by government auditing standards, and that is to provide a report on your internal control over financial reporting, as well as your auditor's report on compliance with Section 2925(3)(f) of New York State Public Authorities Law, which is in relation to your investment activities. No matters on either of those reports, and you had a clean audit opinion again this year. On the next slide, we have a snapshot of your required communications. This is a report card of the overall audit results and our interactions with management. We maintained our auditor's responsibility throughout the process. We performed the audit in accordance with the plan, scope, and timing that was initially set forth. We maintained our ethical and independence requirements. Significant accounting policies, estimates, and disclosures that we are required to present to you. The estimates that we did dig into this year and consistent with prior years were the timing of the recognition of the sales tax receipts. Typically, May and June are recorded as receivables at the end of the year and accrued to the city of Buffalo. We also look at your debt service. We look at your long-term payables, your bonds, any interest recorded, any bond premiums, amortized, and then we also look at your accrual of your ERS pension, your other post-employment benefits, and any of those related disclosures. And then in tandem with those estimates are your significant disclosures, which are the amounts due from other governments, sales tax, the long-term liabilities, which is your long-term debt, pension plan disclosures, and your OPEB disclosures. There were no significant difficulties encountered during the audit. There were no disagreements with management. Any corrections presented were corrected by management. There was no circumstances that affected the form or content of our auditor's report. We will be providing a template to management for the required communications or required management letter, where they're taking full responsibility for all the financial information presented and all the financial information within these financial statements. We did not consult with any external accountants during the process, and there were no other findings, significant matters or issues noted. On the third slide, we have your management letter. Again, this year you have no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies that would impact the substance or form of your financial statements. We do offer 2 informational points in tandem with upcoming GASB standards that will be issued. The ones that are currently coming up are GASB 103 and GASB 104, set to be implemented in 2026. GASB 103 is your financial reporting model improvements. There's no substantive changes here, just more form over content. Things such as your MD&A and any required supplementary information will be slightly tweaked, but it's really just more form over content. And then GASB 104, disclosure of certain capital assets. We have this GASB in place for any separation of lease assets, intangibles, or any subscription assets. The authority does not have any of those at this time, but if they were to, acquire any of those, we would obviously reflect them appropriately. On slide 4, we have a snapshot of the statement of net position for fiscal year 2025 with comparative information for 2024. Total assets at the end of this year amounted to $19,631,000. The most significant portion of that is your amounts due from other governments, those May and June sales tax receipts. We have your deferred outflows of resources and your deferred inflows of resources. Those are in tandem with your other employment benefits and your ERS, your pension results based on actuarial valuations, upcoming payments, and payment structures. Total liabilities for this year amounted to $20,268,000. $18 million of that, almost $19 million of that is going to be amounts due to the City of Buffalo. You have about $229,000 left of final bond payments that are due in fiscal year 2026. Those will go away after next year. And then about $1.3 million of pension and ERS related liabilities. ERS amounted to about $264,000 this year. OPEB amounted to about $985,000 this year. Slight decrease in the prior year based on your census information. I think you went from 5 employees to 4 employees within 1 year, so that did reduce your liability for other post-employment benefits. That brings your net pension position, your net position overall, to a deficit of $552,000. And this really is just a result of your other post-employment benefits just causing this overall decrease or deficit, I should say. On the next slide, we have the statement of activities. Total general revenues for 2025 amounted to $342,408,000. About $176,000 of this is your sales tax revenue. Increases from the prior year, you did note, and I think some of your minutes, that New York State overall had about a 3.7% increase in overall sales tax generated between January and June of 2025. obviously causing your revenue also to increase in tandem with that roughly. I think yours is about 2.8%, but it's very consistent with the overall state averages. State aid amounted to $166,285,000. Exactly, if we round to the nearest thousand, a $5 million increase. AIM payments this year did increase, and that is a significant reason for that increase overall. Total expenses this year of $342,118,000. You had your distributions to the City of Buffalo and the City School District, consistent with the prior year. Your general and administrative costs amounted to about $549,000. You do note that there is a decrease here, but this is mainly due to how we are stating other post-employment benefits and ERS and those top side entries to your expenses year over year, causing the change.
Liz, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
What did the BFSA do in the way of interest and other income where they generated $82,000 more than last year?
That was your investment gains, I believe.
Yeah, but did we have more money to invest, or did we change?
That was the roll down of the forward delivery agreement that we had, paying off our 2015 A refunding fund.
Okay.
So some of those investments that were held under that matured.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we guys had more principal to invest or interest rates shot up and you decided to go into.
Yeah. No, we had the exact same question, and we dug into that.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
No, don't be sorry.
It's significant.
It stands out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we were able to find out, is that it was the roll down of the agreement.
Okay.
So then your interest expense is technically a deficit expense, but this is the amortization of the premium on the bonds currently outstanding, bringing your overall change in that position this year to an increase of $290,000. With that, that is all I have, unless there's any other questions. Overall, another great year, smooth audit, always enjoyable to work with everyone here.
Yes, Tom?
Mayor, just on the balance sheet, I understand the negative position is related to the other benefits that we paid out. So is this not so much of a concern because we are a going concern business, but if we were to, for some reason, go out of business today, how is that $550,000 negative balance covered?
I mean, I don't think that the liability, if you were to go out of business today, would be payable.
Right.
So it's more of a present value of those benefits. But if employees were to, if you were to close up and leave, you wouldn't be paying 20 years of health insurance to these individuals going forward.
Because they would not have retired.
Well, they would not have worked,
They would not work here.
so therefore they would not have earned the benefits.
But some of these benefits are related to retirement.
Correct. And you do make your yearly payments, your contributions to this, the pension system. So the cash flow and the actual expenditures are properly reported, and you have that covered. It's just more of a evaluation presentation.
A very conservative, mandated way of accounting for benefits that need to be paid out in the future.
But if you were to close up today, there would be no benefits to pay in the future.
This is where I annually object to the way OPEBs, and we put into the minutes that I object to the formula for calculating OPEBs, thinking that you have to go out 75 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Calculate what the value is, when in fact, it's really what the cash flow is. It's much more. We didn't have the cash flow to meet the current. Now, that would be a different story. But,
Who do we blame for that, Cassie?
well, it came down.
It's all you accountants, all you CPAs that are causing it.
They have to keep their doors open.
But I think the idea was, I don't think people understood exactly how OPEBs is supposed to work, and so laws changed that said you needed to report it this way, and I think that it was meant to make things much more conservative than they need to be, and that in some cases means you don't hire people that you need to pay, and you're actually worse off, not better off, because of this, I think. So, I always say that while we can look at that, that's not really and the issue. And you know, I think one year I made you put a footnote in
You
the
did.
report
Mhm.
saying that,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
to the uninformed eye, it looks like.
it looks like you're,
Yeah,
you know, you've got a
Shane,
negative number.
how could that
You're
be?
committed to spend those funds as long as you have employees to spend them on, but the second that's no longer an entity.
And the reality is it's all.
And I know it applies to everyone, not.
Right.
But also, the reality is this can change dramatically with interest rates. So depending on the calculations that they use and the interest rates they use, all of a sudden you can have $1 million switches from year to year that look unexplainable when you've done nothing other than follow what you did. So, you know, from an analyst standpoint, we need to look at it, I think, in the appropriate, I would say, financial or economic way, not necessarily the accounting way.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Can I have a motion to forward the audit findings to the full board with a recommendation for approval?
So moved.
Okay,
Seconded.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. The next item includes the review of the annual report and the recommendations for the full board to approve this item in substantially its final form, as well as to delegate authority to the secretary, the executive director, and the comptroller to make any necessary changes that may be required for its accurate completion. The draft annual report has been provided to you for your review under tab 2 in your guard book. Executive Director Roach, will you discuss this with us?
Yes, I have a few prepared items to review on the annual report for you. The annual report is a comprehensive document that provides an overall encompassing summary, not only of what the DFSA has done in the past, so it does report on the achievements towards fiscal stability by the covered organizations and the City of Buffalo, and what those accomplishments have been since this authority was created, but the main focus is what did this authority do over this last fiscal year. The report is completed pursuant to Public Authorities Law, Section 2800 specifically. It is required to be annually filed with New York State within 90 days of fiscal year end, along with the audited financial statements. In addition to filing this report with New York State, we do distribute copies to various other state officials as required under Public Authorities Law. And we also send copies to other interested parties and stakeholders who aren't required to receive a copy, but are stakeholders, so we do send them a copy. Additionally, we do post it to the website where it's included with our past annual reports. Significantly, we lost a longstanding member of this board last year with the passing of Jeanette Jurasek. She passed on July 4th of this past summer. Her service to our organization of over 14 years was deeply thoughtful, meaningful. She challenged us to view things from an alternative lens, and she was a staunch advocate for public education of children. A memorial to her is included within this annual report. Just want to take a moment to thank all my staff for their hard work on this report. A substantial number of hours goes into producing this report, particularly Bryce Link for drafting it, gathering all the information, and for dealing with all my questions. So thank you for that. Also Claire for handling the entire financial audit from beginning to end. Thank you for all your work on that. It is a lot of work within a really short period of time to not only close the books, but prepare them for audit and get the financials prepared. It is a lot. So thank you. And finally, thank you to Lumsden for all your work on this. We appreciate it and for working with us in our time frame too. I know it's a lot of work for you guys. So a couple minutes just to share some highlights in the annual report. The board and this authority's actions over the last year are summarized as they pertain to our mission of assuring financial stability of the City of Buffalo and the covered organizations through our financial oversight. Progress towards fiscal stability and the more recent challenges to that fiscal stability are addressed within this annual report. The multi-year financial planning process represents the core of BFSA's financial oversight, and accordingly, our reports on those financial plans are attached and included within this annual report. These reports provide substantial detail on the strengths and weaknesses identified within the financial plans, along with detailed recommendations from the BFSA. This authority produced 32 reports this last year, including quarterly reports, annual capital plan, reports over the financial plan, welcome, ARPA program, gap closing plans, et cetera. A brief summary on each report is discussed within this annual report, along with any recommendations made. And if a response was received from management of the city or the covered organizations, that response is included within this report also. Other fiscal monitoring actions are discussed, including the monitoring of workforce trends, a summary of the financing framework of the BFSA and the city, among various other matters. There is a cumulative financial impact summary of the BFSA included in this annual report. It includes direct savings to the city through BFSA actions. Most significantly were the wage freeze and issuing bonds. The total cumulative financial impact of the BFSA and the BFSA Act has been quantified at $460.6 million. Of this, $315.8 million is attributed to direct savings from BFSA actions. The remaining $144.8 million is city and covered organization actions that were compelled by the BFSA during a control period. As we were discussing earlier, our bonds are now paid off. Our forward delivery agreement is no longer terminated. I do want to highlight, so especially for our newer directors, when we were intercepting sales tax, we took those funds that were intercepted and we invested them under a guaranteed investment contract. Those proceeds were forwarded over to the city of Buffalo, and over the term of the bonds totaled $4,787,166.97. So I think it's just something to highlight that my predecessors thought about this when they were selling the bonds and got into these guaranteed investment contracts where rates we were close to between 4.5% and 5.5% on those funds when, most organizations were close to zero, like under 1%. So we were able to offset a lot of the costs for the debt through those agreements that they were locked into with those interest rates.
So all the outstanding bonded indebtedness is does that change the term of the existence of the control board to 2037? Does not okay.
So, is there a motion to accept the annual report as presented to us in substantially its final form and to delegate authority to the BFSA Secretary, the Executive Director, and the Comptroller to make any necessary changes that may be required for its accurate completion?
Made.
Okay, second. Okay. Before we vote from the board, it was an amazing amount of work, and we want to make sure that we let you know that we appreciate how hard you've worked and put everything on Executive Director Robe and your staff, who has answered all of our questions and worked very hard over the last year, given very trying circumstances with us losing a member and not necessarily always having quorum, but always helping us get through all of that. So I just wanted to say thank you very much.
I think I want to echo that. the thoroughness and professionalism of how you guys prepare these reports is amazing as analysts. It's very, I can just imagine how much time and effort go into preparing this document. It's amazing.
Oh, I would offer similar comments, and especially from a new director, it really helped me catch up with what's been going on, and again, the thoroughness is what impressed me very much. So thank you to you and the staff.
Great. If there aren't any other comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes. The final item of business is to extend the contract with PFMN Financial Advisors for 1 year period from October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. PFM has served as the financial advisor of BFSA since our organization issued debt on behalf of the city and has continued to advise us on matters as they arise. PFM has agreed to maintain hourly rates consistent with last year. A copy of the letter confirming the terms and the accompanying draft resolution has been provided under tab 2 in your board book. Is there a motion?
Can I ask a question, Chairman?
Sure.
Okay, what are the terms and the rates from last year?
Jeanette?
The terms of the rates, okay, so there was a 2004 agreement that had an annual escalation clause from 2004, 2005, 2006. The hourly rates that are included in 2006, I can get those for you. I don't have them off the top of my head.
You know, I certainly, as a board member, would appreciate more specifics on, you guys doing a fabulous job on the report, but when it comes to say that we'd extend the terms and rates from last year without like providing those to us, I certainly would be appreciative of that. And then I have a question for our legal counsel. Based on the number of people on our committee, if I vote to abstain or no, will the item pass?
You,
On this committee?
if you abstain or vote no, the item will pass.
It will pass.
Yes.
If the other two
Yes,
vote
yeah,
for it.
right. Assuming
I
you're
just-
George, yeah.
No, I understand. No, you have a vote, though.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all you need to know.
Any second?
Thank you, Director Foss. I'm not on the committee, but I do have a question. Even though they're extending the billing rates provided for in 2006, is that the last time, has it ever been put out to an RFP to see if there is a better rate? As someone who has done this in the past and also understands the amount that PFM charges, it's possible the authority could end up with a better rate than even the rate that PFM charges, even though it's based off of a 2006 number.
Right, we stopped issuing debt on behalf of the city in 2007, so we used PFM for a very small number of hours every single year. So to answer your question, we've continued that agreement since we stopped issuing debt on behalf of the city.
How much are they paying PFM on an annual basis?
$5,000 approximately is that,
So about $5,000 a year or
or
less.
less.
But when we ask them to provide analysis on, city issues or whatever, their hourly rate, I mean, that 5,000 would be flexible, right? I mean, or they.
Yep.
Right, so in other words, it could
Yeah, well, it's what we, but
fluctuate one way or another.
to the extent that we're not using many hours, I think that the county executive is correct that if we were to go back out into the bond market for any reason,
Okay.
that would be an appropriate time to put out an RFP, as opposed to now. My real fear is that if you do, the expenses of an RFP may be more than the cost of actually continuing the services. Yes.
Just so I understand, we're not issuing bonds to the BFSA itself, so they're not doing anything for us for that purpose. But they are doing something when the city issues, they advise us on?
They
They
do
do,
analysis.
yeah, they do an analysis, they advise us, and they help us make recommendations to the city, what we believe is the appropriate way to go on funding.
But we don't know what the hourly rates are or any of that.
I know, I don't know what they are off the top
Yeah,
of my
okay, no,
head.
but,
I do have them up now.
And have we been happy with the work that they've been performing?
We've been very satisfied with their services.
So, a motion to, on the resolution to continue with PFM. Second? Seconded. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
no.
No. It passes 2-1. Okay. Is there any new business to address the committee? This concludes this meeting of the Audit, Budget, and Fiscal Committee of the Buffalo Fiscal Stability Authority. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Committee is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.